Hello, everyone. Welcome to Heavenly Album Covers.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Coming up on stage right now for your funny pleasure, ladies and gentlemen, the very fabulous, the Baroness, better known as Miss Bobo. Yeah! Hello, everybody.
So here we are at Heavenly Album Covers. Today's episode features Baroness Bobo and the album There's a Mouse in My Pants. And before we start describing in detail this album that we are going to describe soon, let's look at three 45s that I grabbed from the Heavenly Warehouse of Records. And this is a record on the Gone label, G-O-N-E. The Gone label has this little face, this mouth face on the letter O. And this is by Ral Donner, who was often mistaken for Elvis Presley. His voice sounded like Elvis's, and Ral Donner did some Elvis covers. This song is It's Been a Long Time, and this side is Girl of My Best Friend. The artist is Ral Donner and the Starfires. There were many groups called the Starfires. This is a song and a 45 by Neil MacArthur from 1969 in a really ragged sleeve. The flip side is World of Glass, and the flip side is She's Not There, the Zombies song, written by Rod Argent. And the funny thing is Neil MacArthur was actually Colin Blunstone, the lead singer of the Zombies. He put out this single pseudonymously, and it was kind of a minor hit in the UK. Here's a little picture sleeve thing by Zara Leander. Zara Leander was a singer in the 1930s and 40s, very popular, from Germany, I believe, and she had much success. This is a real cute, real good-looking picture sleeve with some multicolored feathers and something here, I don't know. At first I thought it was a scratch on the cover, but it's actually part of the image. And the back is some Polydor advertisement stuff. And here's the actual single on the orange Polydor label. This is a EP, and real nice looking, clean, good, all that stuff. This Baroness Bobo album was on Laugh Records, L-A-F-F Records, out of Los Angeles. And Laugh Records put out a lot of these comedy albums and some music albums. Quite a few of these albums were produced by Johnny Otis, the band leader. Johnny Otis was Greek, but he self-identified as a part of the black community. So a lot of people thought he was black, but he was actually Greek. And Johnny Otis himself was just an amazing musician, band leader, and he was a great painter and sculptor. He worked a lot in both fields, music and art. And this is one of Johnny Otis's books. I think it's his only book, maybe. It tells the visual story of his artwork and his life story. And his stuff is reminiscent of Picasso, a little bit of Moreau, and I'm not sure what else, but very positive and optimistic stuff. And he also did cartoons for KPFA and KPFK, two Pacifica radio stations in San Francisco and LA. And I had another friend of a friend who knew he either knew a guy or he was cousins of a guy who did volunteer work with Johnny Otis up in Altadena at Johnny Otis's house. And he also played guitar on Johnny Otis's radio show on KPFA. And a couple of times we went up to volunteer to feed the homeless people up in Skid Row in LA. And I got to meet Johnny Otis. I was at his house. I talked to him, and I gave him actually some advice on his cartoons. He asked me if liquid paper was the right way to correct his cartoons, and I kind of helped him out with liquid paper and showed him what he could do. He was a very nice guy, real nice. They had a great warm household up there, and a lot of his artwork was stuck in the backyard. He had statues and things that he'd painted. They had a huge grand piano in the middle of their house, very warm household, and we would make sandwiches and go down to Skid Row and feed a few people. And so Johnny Otis was involved in a lot of these albums. He's given credit on quite a few of them. And other artists on Laugh Records were Red Fox, LaWanda Page, who was the absolute greatest, a duo called Skillet and Leroy, and even Richard Pryor was on Laugh Records briefly early in his career. And a lot of these photo collages, these little comical scenes, were taken by Dominic Belmonte. He was the photographer primarily. It's coffee time. And so there's lots going on with Laugh Records. It seems like just a simple comedy album record company, but they had there were a lot of branches shooting off from the basic premise here of comedy records. And here we have, finally we'll get to the album here, album cover. This is Baroness Bobo, a drag queen, and I'm not sure if Bobo is still around. This cover is just fantastic. I picked it up at the record show the other day. I just had to have it. I got it from the same seller that sold me the Three Dog Night Hard Labor LP. And I want to get these names right. This is Lavisha. She's assisting in encountering this gentleman here, whose name is Franklin Williams. Franklin Williams has a little mouse here, and there's a cat here talking, and Lavisha is saying stuff, and Baroness Bobo is saying something, and it's just a cornucopia of mayhem here, just fantabulous. It's just amazing. There's a little mouse. I think I pointed the mouse out, and they're all kind of sort of making fun of the mouse, and the cat's making fun of the mouse, and Franklin Williams, and it's very colorful. The photos are just great. It doesn't even look like they've been cut out with a X-Acto knife. It looks very clean, very nice, and a lot of Laugh record covers look like this, just insanity. And here's a big, long essay by Bobo, and she wishes everyone loving salutations. And this was produced by David Drozen, who I think formed Laugh Records. Album design was by Howard Goldstein, and the cover models are Lavisha and Franklin D. Williams. Laugh Records was located on Jefferson Boulevard in LA, and that's Baroness Bobo. And let's play a little bit more Baroness Bobo on the way out.
Second, better than a tangerine here. and she was just hollering and kicking. Then he bit on each kneecap, and he spread her legs apart. He says, ah. The cup of nectar. The puss, the puss. So he falls down in the puss and he... While he was in the cup of nectar in the puss, she farted. She got embarrassed. He said, don't get embarrassed, lady. He said, Mademoiselle, don't get embarrassed. He says, the asshole is jealous, but hold on, I'm